Yo, what is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's video, we're talking about the massive patch that Hi-Rez just talked about last week that is dropping tomorrow. Today's Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday, and the patch is dropping then. And I just want to cover as much of the patch as possible to let you guys know what you need to understand before going into that patch. Also, if you guys like this type of content, keeping up with Smite 2, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and like the video so I know you guys like this type of video. Let's just jump right in with the first thing. Anti-heal. Number one, anti-heal items have been removed from the game. So if you go to Magical Physical, there's no Onk anymore. You go to the tier 1s, tier 2s, all the way at the bottom. There's no anti-heal Venom. There's no anti-heal item like that. Again, those items have been removed from the game. Items like Brawlers have been reworked. Divine has been reworked. Contagion has been reworked. And Lernaean Bow have all been reworked. They no longer have anti-heal. Instead, if they liked the type of the design the item had, they just kept it the same. If they didn't like it, or if that was the entire identity of the item, they either removed it or they reworked it. So quickly, just covering the easiest ones. Divine Rune is the same thing, just no anti-heal with a slightly higher intelligence stat and a slightly higher lightning proc. Instead of 7.5%, it's 10%. I think Divine is a little underwhelming. It's just too expensive with also only one stat. Other items that give you, something like this, Poly, 75 intelligence also giving you mana regen. This is a little bit more, but this one has a cooldown of 20 seconds. This one you can literally proc after every ability. Signet gives you mana. It also is something where you can reduce the cooldown of it. Soul Gem, even if its intelligence stat is a little bit lower, it gives lifesteal, it gives cooldown, and it also will heal you and do damage to the enemy. So my issue with Divine is, yeah, the intelligence stat is good. It's just a little too expensive for not enough value on the actual item. Lernaean Bow, it's the exact same thing. It just lost the anti-heal and it gained 10 strength. They added 100 gold to it. I think it'll be still really good in crit builds, but you should really only be running this item in crit builds. Next up, Brawlers. Seeing one of the bigger reworks, and I actually struggle to find the item every once in a while because it's in the hybrid section of physical protections. It now gives you 20 physical prots, and it gives you strength or intelligence depending on whichever is higher. But the passive is the part that I think is really cool. That gives this item some unique capabilities. If you have not taken or dealt damage, you will get an extra 75% of the above passive, so that 45 strength to 60 intelligence. You'll get 75% more of that if you're the one engaging combat. Or, if you're getting engaged on, you'll get an extra 30 physical protections. The cool part about this, though, is it'll still be really good against healers, because if the enemy god, someone on the enemy team, uses a healing ability, you'll immediately get both effects. So now, what does that make this stat? This item will be giving you 80 strength, and it will also be giving you 50 protections in that fight. This is like Shifter Shield stats if they were kind of, cracked up and you got both of them all the time. Like, Shifter Shield is, you get 45 strength, you get 35 physical procs. You have to choose one of those two. You get either the strength or you get the protections on top of the health. You don't get to choose when you want it. This one, you literally can have both if they have a couple healers on their team. So Brawlers is going to be really good, I think, against healers. I also think in solo lane, if you're playing against something like Chalk or Hercules, I think you'll get a lot of value out of Brawlers with this being in 80 strength and a 50 protection item. I think you should look to try this item a little bit in those solo lane matchups where you're playing against a god who's constantly getting those heals off. But I have not seen a ton of this item built. That is what I'll say. I played like 10 to 15 PTS matches. I've not seen a ton of Brawlers, but in my opinion, I do think this item will be good. And then lastly, the next anti-heal item that was reworked is Contagion. Forget what you knew about Contagion. It's completely different. When you're damaged by an enemy basic attack or an ability, you gain 1 stack of Contagion to them. If you basic attack or apply hard crowd control to an enemy with Contagion, consume them to deal 1% of your max health as magical damage per stack in a 4-meter area. If someone lifesteals 100 health from you, immediately apply 5 stacks to them. So if you're playing a tank and the enemy ADC is building a couple lifesteal items, Contagion is going to be crazy good. This is going to be very good still against lifesteal gods, but I also think it's going to be really good just in general. Like, if you're playing against an Anubis, obviously it's going to make sense to buy this. If you're playing against like Athena, this is going to be really good. If you're playing against an Uller, it's going to be really good. I recommend it entirely. But it's just statted really well also 500 health, 8 health regen, and then it's also going to be a lot of damage. The one way to avoid this item if you're playing against it is to not auto attack that person or even hit them with an ability. So it's kind of like a Thorns, but you have to actually hit the enemy back. So I think there's going to be a lot of value in Contagion. And think about it, like Contagion and Nemean, they fight back at all. You're going to be getting procs of your Nemean, and then you're also going to be getting Contagion procs. This is going to be a really good dive combo with Nemean Incantation. Before stepping into the new items, I also want to go over God Antiheal, because God Antiheal still exists. They even expanded upon that. So Serb still has Antiheal. It's no longer 40%. It is now 25%. It is a nerf, but it's still Antiheal. It's still relevant. Sobek has Antiheal still. Sobek. Bacchus has Antiheal still. Medusa has Antiheal in her too. And then lastly, Odin still has 100% anti-heal in his ring. On top of that, though, they also gave 5 gods anti-heal. They gave Agni on his 1. They gave Ares anti-heal on his Searing Flesh ability. Fenrir's Brutal Eyes will now also anti-heal. Izanami 2, her Spectral Projection will also be anti-heal. And then lastly, Chalk Rain in aspect form will now also provide anti-heal, reduce healing by 25%. On top of that, Hi-Rez also added a few items also. The first item I want to talk about is Sanguin Lash. It is a passive and an active. The stats on it, I mean, okay, 25 strength, 30 magical protection, 10% lifesteal, not bad, but it gives you a mystical mail effect based on the enemy's max health. So this is going to be a really good item against other tanks. Say you're playing against like Gabrakan in solo, or you're playing against like a Sobek, or just a god who's building a lot of health. This will feel really good against those characters. The passive is this mystical mail. Also, you will get a lash in front of you, the active part of it, that does 10% of the enemy's max health. So if I use my lash, 250 damage, 10% of this totem's max health. It obviously is reduced by protections. On top of the tick doing 3% base, just for buying the item, 3% of the enemy's max health, every lash will also be doing 10%. So if you have 3 lashes stored, and then you can stand around somebody for 10 seconds, you'll be doing 60% of their health with just this item in that time needed. And lastly, with this item, if you buy more lifesteal, the proc will actually rise up. So instead of being just a 3% tick, if you buy like this new item, Umbreal Link, it'll be doing 4% of the enemy's max health. So like a combo like this could be pretty interesting. Umbreal Link we'll go over right after this. Gives you physical protections. This item gives you magical protections, a little bit of strength, and also some lifesteal. One last thing that I forgot about with this item, you also lifesteal with it. With both of them. This might be pretty strong. This Sanguin Lash might be pretty strong. Next up, Umbreal Link. Probably one of the more underwhelming ones, but it will also provide some decent stats for like tankier gods, or if you just want a little bit of survivability, but you're, short a lifesteal item, could be interesting. Umbreal Link splits your lifesteal between you and allied gods. It only splits it when they're not at 100%. If they're at 100% and you're getting dove, you will still heal for 100% of the auto. You just have to make sure that the 11.2 range, which is somewhere out here, if any low ally is inside of that, you will be healing them along with yourself. Each unique ally healed like this grants you 10 protections for 8 seconds. The link only works while you're above 50%. So if I hit this guy for 1 auto, it heals every ally 1, but it also gives me 50 physical and magical protections, which is a lot of protections. It's like a selfless item that also has selfish aspects. I was thinking that maybe a backline with Umbreal Link on the mid laner and the ADC would make it very hard to dive them. They can heal up each other if you're only focusing one. The other one can heal that guy. So I think there could be something unique there that would be fun to mess around with. The downside to it is it's a little expensive. It is 2,700 gold. But that is Umbreal Link. Next item is Gluttonous Grimoire. And if you saw the clip of me one-shotting a solo or troll, hitting him for like 3,200 damage, it was this item. It was bugged, so they put the cap on it now. What Gluttonous Grimoire does, first off the stats, 40 int, 150 max health, 10% lifesteal. 25% of lifesteal healing is stored into your next basic attack. Successfully damaging an enemy god, you'll be doing bonus damage. The stored amount is capped at 33% of your max health. So technically, if I wanted to, I could build more health to do more damage, but that first auto does 997, a third of my health. Obviously, they can mitigate some of it, or protections can block some of it, but it is a lot of burst. And a really funny tech that I saw FinoK do is Nuwa aspect procs items. So if you play Nuwa, get to the late game, buy this item, lifesteal a ton, get to 130 your health, and ult, it'll be just a random person chosen on the enemy team, and it'll do that extra burst of damage, which was really crazy, but really cool. I think Gluttonous Grimoire is a really good item, and I think you're going to want to try to fit it into a good amount of your lifesteal builds. You actually heal off of the damage you do, so a god like Anubis, if you do build a good amount of lifesteal or your passive is really active, getting that one auto off will proc for a lot of damage and then heal you in return also a bunch of it. And it's also just a good survivability item. I can see it being very good on like Hades also as like a you know, go around farming, gives you a good amount of health, and then just a little extra burst a lot of the time. Next up, Regrowth Striders. It is a 40 Fizz Prot, 3 mana regen, 15 cooldown rate item. When you heal yourself from an ability, you gain a burst of 35% movement speed that decays to 10% over 5 seconds for 5 seconds. The cooldown is 10 seconds, but when you gain a movement speed buff, you restore 5% of your max health over 10 seconds. As you can see, walking out of base procs the passive regen. Picking up a speed buff procs the regen. I would assume going over a Janus 3 once he drops would proc the regen. And then obviously being low and healing yourself will proc the regen. So I'll take a little bit of damage here and you can kind of see what it'll look like. Pop my 3. Oh, I have aspect on. Pop my 3. Get the heal. Get double the heal because of the regrowth proc also. Which also will continue healing me for a few seconds also after. So on a god like Chalk, a god like Herc, gods that can kind of proc their heal whenever they want and just get in the enemy's face, Regrowth Strider is going to be very good. It also gives you more cooldown and it is a Fizz Prot item. I saw this item a lot. I think this item is going to be really good. Get comfortable with it. Build it on healers. W. Even gods like Kabrakan, your 2 that you clap together, your arms, it will also proc on that. So it's worth it a lot of the time. And even if it doesn't give health, it's giving you cooldown and it's giving you mana regen. Kind of like a breastplate does, but it's more protections. More protection, slightly lower cooldown rate, but an insane passive. Next item, Vital Amplifier. It's a smite 1 item. It's the smite 1 item. You heal, your auto attack starting doing more damage. And honestly, Chalk is one of the better uses of it because he has a tick heal. Chalk, like Alma, will be solid with this item. I hated this item in Smite 1 because it just desynced my autos. I don't think I'm going to like it very much in Smite 2, but, you know, maybe some people will really like it. I don't think it's going to be very good, though. Contagion, we already went over. I just want to emphasize this is a brand new item. It's completely different, but we already covered it in, like, the anti-heal section, so I'm not going to cover it again. The next item, Daybreak Gavvel. 300 max health. You're also getting that passive where if you're higher strength, higher intelligence, you'll get more of that. Or that's the stat you will get. For each unique god healed by a healing ability, gain a stack up to 4. Your next ability consumes all the stacks to contribute 10% additional strength and intelligence scaling per stack to consume. And they actually buffed this before it went live because they didn't want the item to be, like any of the new items, to be underwhelming, which I think Daybreak Gavvel was. It is now up to 3 stacks, but it's 15%, meaning it's a 45% burst. The issue I see with this is I think it's really just a raw item. It kind of is in that same space as Soul Gem, where you put them next to each other and it's like, okay, 300 max health, 7.5% lifesteal, 10 cooldown rate. They're both like somewhat survivability items. 40 intelligence on Soul Gem, but it's giving you cooldown. Daybreak Gavvel, no cooldown, but it's 40% additional damage. Soul Gem is also 40% additional damage, but it'll heal yourself and allies. It kind of is in that same space. Maybe it's buildable on raw, but I'm not sold on this as a great item. The next item to go over, Heartwood Charm. This is probably one of my favorite items in the patch. 400 max health, 250 max mana, 10 cooldown rate. The passive is your healing abilities have 20% reduced cooldowns, and each cast reduces this item's active cooldown by 10 seconds. So kind of like the Sanguin Lash item, where the more you use this, the faster your active will be up. So on a god like Chalk, which is normally an 11.82 second cooldown, you proc it, and it's now only 8 seconds. I lied. My passive was active. It's about a 10-second cooldown. I was going to say, that seems like way more than 10%. But yeah, it's a pretty cool use of it, and the kind of interesting part about it is, at least with Chalk, your 3 instantly goes on cooldown. So you prop your 3, and then it's healing you for an extra 5 seconds, and then it'll be back up 4 seconds after. Heartwood Charm is another one of those dominant items. The active is your next non-ultimate healing ability will have no cooldown, but deals 50% reduced damage. So you can, you know, pop this, and then do this also. And then you'll have double the rain. And actually, with Heartwood Charm, it allows you to double cast that ability. I don't know for sure, but this double reduces their attack speed. I wonder if this triple reduces their attack speed because you do get the double healing. I wonder if that's how it'll work with Chalk. And if that works, that'll be like crazy zoning potential against an enemy ADC. Like, you will not be able to win that fight as the ADC. But yeah, that's Heartwood Charm. It's a crazy good item. You're gonna have to learn this item. Get ready to learn Heartwood Charm, buddy. The next item is to talk about is Typhons Heart, and this is the one that they teased a while back. Typhons Heart is kind of complicated, but I'm gonna just dumb it down as quick as possible. Getting kills on minions will spawn a monster. Getting kills on gods will instantly spawn the monster. So I use this here. I ult. I get this little monster that spawns. This monster will never disappear unless it's killed, and getting more stacks on it makes him bigger. Oh, he disappeared. Put this guy to level 1 quick so we can kill him too. Interesting. I might have to fix the little guy a little bit. But the more kills on gods you get, the bigger he gets. He is a little buggy still. And I don't think he's the most OP thing in the world, but he's really cool to play around with. It's like the more kills you get, the bigger he gets. Until eventually he's just an absolute machine. And then you kind of just have another insanely strong teammate fighting with you. And once you get him at 5 stacks, each enemy god that you get will just instantly heal him up. So he unfortunately died there, but you get another one. And the more you kill with it, the bigger the monster gets, and the more attack speed he gets, the more lifesteal he gets. So he's kind of like a snowball. More movement speed he gets, a snowball item. I don't know how broken it'll be or how good it'll be, but it's really fun to play around with. And the last item I want to go over with is Barbed Carver. I think this item is going to be really fun on a lot of characters. Barbed Carver on Chalk, just this alone, hitting ability or hitting the enemy with abilities means you'll get stacks on your Barbed Carver, and then your autos and your abilities are going to start to be doing more damage, increased by each time you hit. So you hit him with an ability or an auto, nothing. You hit him with an ability, your next auto starts to do more. Hit him with another ability, your autos and your abilities start to do more. And then once you get to that 3rd stack, you'll be doing about 24% more damage. Those stacks stay for 5 seconds, which means as long as like you hit the god, and then a couple of seconds back, you hit him again. You see that yellow number, is it? Hit him again. Keep it stacked up. You just have to make sure you're hitting abilities. So, like, it's an ability spam. But the good thing is Chalk is, like, super low cooldowns. Uller abuses this item. And I think some, like, Mordreds could use this item and could use it really well. But it is kind of like a full damage item. But like a solo lane Chalk with the full strength build of, like, Reaper, Barbed Carver, Devs. And then you go, like, Crusher, Heartseeker, Titans, and, you know, Bluestone. You'll ramp up pretty fast with the amount of damage you're doing. And that's like with the Barbed Carver and all that. I do think this item would be best on Uller though. I think Uller would abuse this item because auto attacks do pretty much matter too. But that's all the items I really want to go over. Like Reaper's a new item, but it's essentially the same thing. Getting kills gives you more strength, more lifesteal. Or gives you just more strength. There are like a couple other changes, but those are the big ones. I want to do one last thing in this video, and I know it's getting a little long, so I appreciate you guys if you've stuck around this long. The changes is with the teleporters and the side camps. Instead of these being, you know, 2 minions here and 5 minions here, it is now 3 minions in this camp, and this now spawns an Oracle camp. The Oracle camp gives you vision on the teleporter, and the teleporter is now activatable at 6 seconds instead of 10 seconds. But you have vision on it if you kill this camp right here. So as you see, it doesn't spawn for another, what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You can kill this to get vision on these camps to kind of kill this, and then, oh, my teammate or the enemy is walking over here. I wonder if he's teleporting or not. You will now just know. But yeah, that is the last big thing I wanted to touch on. They said in their Titan Talk on Friday, I think, or Wednesday was one of them, that they are also planning a big Conquest overhaul, hopefully dropping in OB16. So we've got a lot of content on this one, a lot of content on OB16 that I'll help you guys go over and cover. And also coming out this week, I'll be going over a build section that kind of works in some of the newer items so you can try them out, or maybe I just think they're just broken and you should just be playing these kind of period. But yeah, that's all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.